Imagine this. You have been faithfully taking your vitamin D pill every single day, trusting that it is protecting your bones, your muscles, and your immune system. Yet your knees still ache, you still feel strangely tired, and your last scan still showed thinning bones. You start to wonder, is something wrong with my body? The truth is far more surprising. For most people after 60, the problem is not a lack of vitamin D, it is taking it in the wrong way. Wrong dose, wrong timing, wrong combinations. Today I want to pull back the curtain and show you, step by step, how to finally use vitamin D correctly so it actually reaches your bones, your muscles, and your energy in real life instead of quietly going to waste. Before we talk about pills and doses, we need to look at what actually changes in your body with age. When you were younger, vitamin D worked quietly in the background. Your skin made plenty from sunlight, your liver and kidneys activated it easily, and your bones and muscles responded quickly. You did not have to think about it at all. After 60, that entire chain becomes slower and less efficient. Your skin produces less vitamin D from the same amount of sun. Your digestive system often makes less acid and bile, so you absorb less from food and supplements. Your liver and kidneys may work more slowly, especially if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or long-standing medical conditions. On top of that, many common medications interfere with how vitamin D is absorbed or activated. This means a simple but important thing. You can take the same dose you took at 40 and receive only a fraction of the benefit. The bottle in your hand may look reassuring, but your tissues may still be running on empty. Why does that matter so much? Because vitamin D is not only a bone vitamin. There are receptors for vitamin D in muscle cells, immune cells, brain cells, and heart cells. It helps you absorb calcium and use it correctly. It supports leg strength, balance, and reaction time. It helps your immune system recognize and fight infections. It even plays a role in mood, energy, and how clearly you think. When levels stay too low for too long, the changes rarely look dramatic at first. They look like normal aging. You feel more tired. You get up from a chair more slowly. You feel a bit unsteady on uneven ground. Your bones thin quietly in the background. You catch colds more often and take longer to recover. Many seniors shrug and say, "I guess this is just my age," when in truth, their cells are simply missing the signal that vitamin D is meant to provide. Here is the key idea I want you to remember from this part. After 60, vitamin D is no longer something you can leave on autopilot. It becomes a system you need to manage on purpose. That means checking 3 questions. Am I taking enough? Am I absorbing what I take? And is my body actually able to use it once it is in my bloodstream? If any one of those steps is weak, your vitamin D plan will disappoint you. You can swallow a pill every day and still live in a state of quiet deficiency. In the next parts, we will rebuild your approach step by step, so you finally use vitamin D in a way that matches the body you live in now, not the one you had 20 or 30 years ago. Once you see vitamin D as a system, instead of a single pill, everything makes sense. The mix of tiredness, weakness, and slow recovery stops feeling mysterious and starts looking like what it is, a signal problem waiting for support. Now that you know why vitamin D matters so much more after 60, let us look at how it quietly slips through your fingers. The first set of mistakes has nothing to do with the brand on the bottle. It has everything to do with how you take it. Mistake 1 is taking vitamin D with the wrong kind of meal. Vitamin D is fat-soluble. That simply means it needs fat to ride into your bloodstream. When you take it with dry toast, coffee, or a tiny breakfast, you may absorb only a small part of the dose. The rest passes through, never reaching your bones or muscles. Seniors in several studies absorbed far more vitamin D when they took it with a meal that contained at least a modest amount of healthy fat, such as olive oil, avocado, nuts, eggs, or fatty fish. So one small change already makes a big difference. Take your vitamin D with your largest, most satisfying meal of the day, not on an empty stomach. Mistake 2 is still following the small doses that were designed decades ago only to prevent severe deficiency. Those old guidelines focused on avoiding the worst bone disease, not on building strength or protecting your immune system. For many older adults, especially those who spend most of their time indoors, 600 or 800 units a day is simply not enough to reach a strong and steady blood level. That does not mean everyone needs huge doses. It means you should stop assuming that the smallest number on the label is the safest or smartest choice. The real dose you need depends on your current blood level, your body weight, your sun exposure, your medications, and your health history. Mistake 3 is being casual instead of consistent. Many people tell me I take vitamin D most days. I take it when I remember. Some weeks they take it 7 times, some weeks 3 times, and some weeks not at all. Your body does not work well with that pattern. Vitamin D is not a pain pill that you take when you have a symptom. It is a long-term signal that your cells feel every single day. When you take one very large tablet once in a while, your blood level jumps up, then drifts back down. When you take a moderate amount every day, your level becomes stable, and that stability is what bones, muscles, and immune cells prefer. If you see yourself in any of these 3 habits, do not feel guilty. Almost no one has ever explained this to you in plain language. The good news is that they are simple to correct. In the next part we will go deeper, because the biggest problems do not come from the vitamin D pill itself. They come from the missing partners that are supposed to help it work. When vitamin D is taken at the wrong time, in too small a dose, and only once in a while, the result is predictable. Your test may say low normal. Your doctor may say keep going. Yet your energy, strength, and mood never truly improve. Here is a truth that almost no one is told. Vitamin D is not a solo performer. It is more like the leader of a small orchestra. If the other players are missing, the music never sounds right, no matter how loudly the leader waves the baton. The first missing partner for many seniors is magnesium. Your body must use magnesium at several steps to convert vitamin D from its storage form into its active form, the form that actually tells your cells what to do. If you are low in magnesium, you can have a normal vitamin D blood level on paper and still feel like nothing is changing. Many older adults are quietly deficient in magnesium because they eat fewer nuts, seeds, leafy greens, and beans, and because some blood pressure pills and stomach acid drugs cause the body to lose more of it. Typical helpful amounts from supplements are in the 300 to 400 milligram range, but food sources are always a smart base. The second partner is vitamin K2. Vitamin D helps you absorb calcium. Vitamin K2 helps decide where that calcium goes. With enough K2, calcium is more likely to move into your bones and teeth. With too little, calcium is more likely to linger in soft tissues such as blood vessel walls. That is one reason why some experts now suggest that older adults who take vitamin D regularly should also make sure they get K2, either from foods like natto, certain cheeses, and egg yolks, or from a modest supplement, especially if they already take calcium. The third partner is calcium itself, but this is where things get subtle. Many seniors were told for years to simply take large calcium tablets and not worry. Now we know that taking big doses of calcium without enough vitamin D and K2 may not be wise. Your body needs calcium, but it prefers to receive much of it from food, such as dairy, small fish with bones, leafy greens, almonds, and tofu, with supplements used carefully to fill gaps, not to drown the system. Other quiet partners include zinc and the B vitamins, which support immune function and bone cell activity, and a healthy gut lining, which decides how much of any pill you swallow actually enters your body. That is why long-term use of strong acid-blocking drugs, diabetes medicines like metformin, or heavy fiber supplements taken at the same time as your pills can interfere with vitamin D and mineral absorption. None of this is meant to scare you. It is meant to explain why simply raising the dose of vitamin D is not always the answer. Often, the faster path to feeling better is not more of the same pill, but better support around it. In the next part, we will look at how to choose the right form of vitamin D and how your body size, medications, and medical history change what a smart dose looks like for you. If you raised your vitamin D dose and felt no change, one of these partners was missing. When magnesium, K2, and minerals are restored, vitamin D finally works. Now that you understand the support team around vitamin D, we can talk about the vitamin D itself. This is where many well-meaning people are led astray by old habits, random advice, or the cheapest bottle on the shelf. First is the form. On labels you will see vitamin D2 and vitamin D3. They sound similar, but your body treats them differently. Vitamin D3, also called cholecalciferol, is the form your skin makes from sunlight and the form that has been shown to raise and maintain blood levels more reliably in older adults. Vitamin D2 was used more in the past and can still help, but it is generally weaker and shorter acting. If you are choosing a supplement for long-term use, D3 in a liquid or soft capsule is usually the most effective and gentle option for seniors. Second is your body size. Vitamin D dissolves into fat tissue. That means the more body fat you carry, the more vitamin D gets stored away instead of floating freely in your blood where it can reach your organs. This is not a moral issue. It is simple chemistry. Two people can take the same dose, and the person with the larger body and higher body fat may see a smaller rise in blood levels. This is why standard one-size-fits-all doses often fail older adults who are heavier, less active, or taking several medications. Third is absorption. If you have had stomach surgery, long-term digestive issues, or years of strong acid-blocking medicines, you may not absorb vitamin D well through the gut. In these cases, liquid drops taken with food, or sublingual drops that absorb under the tongue, can work better than hard tablets. Some people with serious absorption problems need prescription strength, vitamin D, or occasional supervised high-dose treatment from their doctor. This brings us to testing. You cannot guess your vitamin D status by how you feel. Some people feel miserable with only a mild deficiency. Others feel fine until their levels are very low. The only honest way to know is a simple blood test called 25-hydroxyvitamin D. Ask to see the number, not just the word normal or low. Many experts now suggest that for most older adults, a range between 40 and 60 nanograms per milliliter gives a better balance of bone, muscle, and immune support than the bare minimum of 20. Finally, we have sunlight. Supplements are helpful, but they do not replace the unique way your skin makes vitamin D from the sun. Short, sensible exposure on arms and legs a few times per week can raise levels in a way your body regulates. You do not need to burn or bake in the sun. 10 to 15 minutes for light skin, a bit longer for darker skin, followed by sun protection, is enough in warm months. Many experts now suggest that for most older adults, a range between 40 and 60 nanograms per milliliter gives a better balance of bone, muscle, and immune support than the bare minimum of 20. Finally, we have sunlight. Supplements are helpful, but they do not replace the unique way your skin makes vitamin D from the sun. Short, sensible exposure on arms and legs a few times per week can raise levels in a way your body regulates. You do not need to burn or bake in the sun. 10 to 15 minutes for light skin, a bit longer for darker skin, followed by sun protection, is enough in warm months. Start with a glass of water and, if your doctor agrees, take magnesium with or after breakfast. Breakfast itself does not need to carry your vitamin D dose, but it is a perfect place to add support foods. A simple option might be oatmeal topped with almonds and a spoon of plain yogurt, or eggs cooked with spinach. Here you are already feeding your body magnesium, calcium, good fats, and a small amount of natural vitamin D. Around midday or at dinner, you take your actual vitamin D3 supplement with your largest meal that contains healthy fat. That meal might be fish cooked with olive oil, a stew with beans and vegetables, a plate with chicken, brown rice, and avocado, or any combination you enjoy. The key is that your plate includes some fat and at least one food that offers either calcium, magnesium, or vitamin K2, such as leafy greens, cheese, yogurt, tofu, or eggs. This is the moment when your supplement rides into your system with the help of real food. Once or twice a week, you add sensible sunlight. Perhaps you sit outside on a balcony, walk in a nearby park, or tend plants for 10 to 15 minutes when the sun is stronger. Expose your forearms and lower legs if you can, then move into the shade or apply protection. You are not chasing a tan. You are simply letting your skin do what it was designed to do. Across the week, you sprinkle in more of the quiet helpers: nuts and seeds for magnesium, leafy greens for vitamin K, fatty fish or egg yolks for natural vitamin D, fermented foods and fiber from vegetables and lentils to keep your gut bacteria healthy because they help you absorb more from every pill and every bite. Layered on top of this, you add movement that your bones and muscles love. This does not have to mean gyms or heavy weights. It can be walking with a friend, climbing stairs at your own pace, sitting and standing from a chair 10 times, or using light hand weights while you watch television. Vitamin D does its best work in a body that is gently challenged. When you live this way, vitamin D stops feeling like one more chore. It becomes part of a rhythm. Eat, Move, step into the light, rest, then, once or twice a year, you add one more powerful habit. You ask your doctor to check your vitamin D level and adjust your plan so you are not guessing. That is how you turn a confusing subject into a clear, peaceful routine. You do not need to change everything at once. Begin with one habit, repeat it daily, then add another. At this point you might be thinking, how will I know if all of this effort is actually helping? The answer comes from both numbers and how you feel in daily life. On the number side, the clearest sign is your blood test. If your level was low before and moves into that steady range around 40 to 60 after several months, you know your dose, timing, and absorption are finally aligned. If your level barely moves, even though you never miss a pill, that is a signal to look for missing pieces. Are you taking it with fat? Are you using D2 instead of D3? Are you on medications that block absorption? Is your body weight higher, meaning the dose needs gentle adjustment? Good doctors appreciate patients who ask these questions calmly and clearly. On the feeling side, the signs are quieter but meaningful. Over time, many people notice that vague muscle aches begin to soften. Standing from a chair or climbing a short flight of stairs feels a little easier. Recovery after a walk or light exercise is quicker. Winter infections may be less frequent or less severe. Mood can feel a little brighter, and heavy fatigue may start to lift. These changes are not magic, and they do not appear overnight, but together they tell you that your cells are finally hearing the message. There are also warning signs that your strategy is off track. If you are taking very high doses without testing, if you have a history of kidney stones or high blood calcium, or if you notice excessive thirst, confusion, or stomach upset after starting very large supplements, you need to speak with your doctor promptly. More is not always better. The safest path is targeted, moderate dosing, guided by real blood work, not guessing. It also helps to zoom out and remember that vitamin D is one important piece of a much larger picture. Strong bones also need protein, movement, and enough calories. Strong muscles need resistance exercise, even simple chair stands or wall push-ups. A resilient immune system needs sleep, stress management, and a diet that is rich in colors, fibers, and healthy fats. When you pair a smart vitamin D plan with these foundations, the effects multiply instead of standing alone. In the end, the goal is not to chase a perfect number on a lab report. The real goal is to keep your body strong enough to do the things that matter to you. Walking without fear of falling, lifting groceries, climbing steps to visit a friend, playing with grandchildren, traveling, enjoying the life you have built. Vitamin D, used wisely, is one of the quiet tools that helps you keep those doors open. As you look at your routine, ask a few simple questions. Am I taking vitamin D3 most days with a real meal that contains some fat? Am I supporting it with magnesium, K2, and mineral-rich foods? Have I checked my level in the last year? If not, that is your next step. You do not need to fix everything this week, only to take one action towards stronger bones and steadier legs. If you are ready to stop guessing with vitamin D and start using it as a tool for better health, this is your moment to act. Do one simple thing today. Look at your bottle, choose the meal that will help it absorb best, and make a note to ask your doctor for a vitamin D test at your next visit. Then, choose one support habit from this video, maybe adding magnesium-rich foods or a walk in the light, and begin it this week. Your future self, with steadier steps and stronger bones, will be grateful you started. If you want more science-based guidance on staying strong and independent after 60, subscribe and turn on notifications. And in the comments, tell me which part of your vitamin D routine you are going to change first. I read every message,